You know what time it is.
What's up, beer people?
If you heard it on the hashtag Beer Town, it's true.
It must be true.
It's true. It is fact. Please, won't you name one of your beers Cart Horse?
And just do something terrible. Just shit beer. Yeah.
Stick your finger in there every now and again.
Stir it with the sock.
Every show, it feels like my first show.
Every show is a new adventure.
Having some good conversation here, Mr. Troy.
Did I make sense there? I think I did.
I love them all.
Are we off air?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 42. In this episode, we have two good friends, Murray and Murray. And they're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about Beer Week. And for those of you who don't know or have been living under a rock, Beer Week in Cape Town is massive. Especially this year, we've got Beer House's 5th birthday. We've got a whole bunch of events happening throughout the week. We've got IPA Day, we've got International Beer Day, we've got the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival. It's almost too much. So in order for you to properly understand the intensity of it all, listen to the show and you will find out how nervous yet how excited we all are. And I'll let you get straight into it. As always, let me know what you think. Cheers.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away?
Doesn't that song just take you back? Take you back to a time and a place when you just wanted to get away from it all and go down to your local and have a nice cold beer. Well, I think it's very appropriate that we have the music of Cheers in the background, because if you don't have Cheers in Cape Town, the bar, then I'm sure you have a lot of other options. But one of the more popular options is a yellow little place in Long Street called Beer House. And here to talk about Beer House and their 5th birthday is our good friend Murray. Let's welcome Mr. Murray Slater. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me again.
Oh, you sound like a pirate. Arr. You sound terrific. Let me turn that music down. Let's also welcome a third guest. Take a guess what his name. His name is also Murray, but it's not Murray number 1. It's Murray number.
It's always sad when I go get.
It's Murray number 3.
Seems to go down every time I come here.
Yeah, I think your status goes down. But you're Murray number 3. Murray Turner from Cape Town Festival Beer, from Barley and Hops, from anything else that you're from?
Not at the moment. At the moment, that's it. We'll stick with that until everything else starts coming up later.
I'm sure the wife has restricted you from doing anything else. Like mine, I'm only allowed to do a certain amount of beer things.
Yeah, I found it was easier, and then we got engaged, and then kind of the brakes went on, and that was it.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. And T-Bone, can we just say there's only one T-Bone in our hearts? We don't rank them.
There's no T-Bone one. It better not be.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Guys, welcome to the show. We're going to have a fantastic show. How's everyone sounding? It sounds good. There's a little bit of crackle. I'm hoping that will improve as the show goes on.
I'm pretty sure that one of these beers was smoothed out.
For us, maybe. You guys at home, have you got a beer?
Let's do this. Let's crack open the first beer. Mazza, you bought a few beers. I bought a few beers. I'm going to say Mazza. I better actually correct myself.
You can call one of us Mazza. You can call Mazza Mazza.
Do you want to just call him 2 and me 3?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Well, let's do this. Mr. Beerhouse, Murray, you bought some beers. What's the first beer that you're going to crack open?
I'm going to crack open a Zwakala, which is from Limpopo. If you've ever in that region, I really recommend going and visiting them.
So where's Limpopo in comparison to Cape Town?
Yeah, well, if
is it close? Can I try it?
If Cape Town's at the bottom, Limpopo's at the top. It's a great place. Luca has got a beautiful brewery there. They've got such a great property. I think one of the best views. I know a few breweries are out there claiming that, but in my mind, that is probably one of the best views you can have at a brewery. And he's making exciting, fun beers. Great guy. The name's Wakala, means come over here. So if you
Oh,
are,
really?
if you are
That's
anywhere
pretty
in
cool.
the region, you should go over there. And this beer is called the Weekend Special, which is a very interesting mashup. I actually tasted it for the South African National Beer Trophy, and I was quite taken aback. It was basically a Belgian Wit beer and an IPA hybrid. So guess
Wow.
what that's going to taste like. And
Well,
it's
can we stop guessing?
and it's infused with lemongrass. Yes, let's stop
Let's-
guessing.
Let's crack that baby open.
See if we can get a nice sound there.
This has always been such a nice brewery. And I think I've only ever opened one of their beers and kind of thought, that's not right. Just foamed to the point it was undrinkable. But every other beer they've ever done has been very tasty, so this should be good.
Okay. Well, I think we're sounding good with the mics. If you're listening, hello, Beer Squad. Let's see what this is like.
I'm kind of
This is the first time Murray's ever poured beer for 3 people.
Yeah. So
Oh,
as
wait,
I
wait,
said,
that's,
no, you see,
your wife called in earlier. She said that's all you're allowed.
I'm from the service industry, so I always pour out the beers to everyone else first. That's how it works.
such a genuine guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice,
Cheers, guys.
nice to see you.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the studio, and welcome Zwakala. I think I've had Zwakala on the show, but not this weekend special. But let's give it a sniff.
Can't help it.
Very fruity, hoppy, yeasty.
So when we were judging it,
Almost like sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Almost like an amber vice.
Yes. Well, it's definitely got lots of phenols,
Look at the bottle.
phenols and esters coming out of it. The yeast-derived flavors and aromas are there, definitely. We were a bit weirded out when we were judging it because it was entered as a specialty IPA, but it wasn't mentioned that it was Belgian style. So we just started picking up the phenols and esters, going, okay, there's a problem there, but it's not actually a problem. It's supposed to be there, and it's
And
actually quite delicious.
You're obviously
very
talking
delicious.
about the National Beer Trophy.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So judging has started for that.
That's actually apparently finished. Which
Oh,
happened
really?
Really rapidly, quickly. Yeah.
But I think they had 3 weekends of straight judging.
They
so
did.
it was.
I
it
only
wasn't
did
a
3
short amount of-
sessions, 3 half sessions. I
I'm
thought
pretty-
it was going to go on for a lot longer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was scheduled for an upcoming judging session. So I just need a phone, or just make sure that I don't need to be anywhere, or that I wasn't supposed to be anywhere. Anyway,
I missed the mail. Sorry, Matt.
let me have a sniff and a sip.
And again, Zukala hits it. I think this is a great beer.
Yeah, it's got a bit of
It's definitely not going to be for everyone, but I think it's very good.
It's got a bit of bitterness in the back. I see it sitting at 6%. Not too sure what other specs are on there.
That's what IBU mentioned.
It's surprisingly light in terms of an IPA. I think it's light in body.
Yeah, I think it's Belgian Wit stroke IPA hybrid is a bit difficult to get your head around. For me, it is. And then you're throwing lemongrass in there, so you've got like fruity esters as you've picked up, banana, and you've got clove coming through in the phenols, and then you've got this like citrusy lemongrass, which is also a bit of citrus coming from the phenols of the Wit beer. So it's quite a lot of different flavors, but I think, considering the amount of flavors coming through there, I think it's balanced. You kind of finish the sip and you go, wow, I'd like to have another one.
Is this a staple beer that they're making, or is this kind of a seasonal thing that they've done?
I think it was actually, I was under the impression it was what you call it, a collab with Drifter, but it doesn't mention that anywhere on the bottle. But
Because they have done a few collabs with Drifter.
yes, I think they've got a very good relationship.
I'm seeing a little.
He was a Baobab.
Yes, yeah. I think Nick and Luke are good buddies, and I think Nick installed the brewery up there as well. So
Well, you
There's
say-
a- there's an anchor
you say-
there.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
And
there's
there's
a little anchor there.
so there is a
Yeah,
collab.
and a
subtle-
traditional African pot. So I wonder
Yeah.
if it was a
Maybe-
three-way.
Maybe it was Wakamba as well.
Yeah.
But what's the radio for then? This is quite interesting. This is cryptic.
This is very cryptic.
Did you brew part of this?
Is that your symbol? the
That's my
hashtag?
symbol.
Is it the Two Oceans Vibe Radio first brew there?
Yes, that'll be nice. We should probably give some people some ideas. So, guys, this whole show, we're going to be drinking some beer, naturally.
Nice.
And we're also going to be talking about two things. The one is Beer House's birthday. We're going to jump straight into that. And the second part of the show, we're going to focus on some other beer events happening later in the year, which we'll get to. But let's jump straight into I think, a week which everyone is nervously looking. I'm nervously looking forward to it because it is one of the biggest beer weeks in South Africa, especially in Cape Town. We've got it's Beer House's birthday, and Beer House is celebrating a whole week of different events. Murray, you're going to talk about that now. But also we've got International IPA Day. We've got International Beer Day. That's on Thursday and Friday, back to back. And then if that wasn't enough, we've got the Winter Woodstock, the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival. Always mess that up. Happening on the Saturday. And that's just going to top it off. I see now Randolph is having a birthday party on the Saturday
on
night.
Saturday
Yellow
evening,
party.
yeah.
On
To kind of wrap up.
Just to wrap up a whole week of beer. It's going to be amazing.
So, okay. So, I'm sweating a little
Yeah,
bit.
I think
Just thinking about
I
it.
think you need to speak to your wives and your fiance about your
Oh,
beer
no.
drinking budget for next week, because I think you need to be able to extend that.
She knows.
Okay.
She knows. I've already got a few things planned. But before I get into that, tell us what Beer House has on offer. And congratulations, by the way. I can't believe it's been 5 years.
5 years, right? It's
How
gone
weird
by
is
in a
that?
flash. Yeah, it's crazy.
I mean, I remember the days when you were lurking about the Southeasters meetings, checking out all the homebrewers, seeing what they were up to.
yeah, no, it was a humble beginning. So it feels like it's definitely gone by in a flash, and it's great to reflect after 5 years how far the industry has come, and obviously being a part of the industry for the last 5 years has been amazing. And the story I always tell is when we first tried to put, I think we had 16 taps at the beginning. When we tried to put 16 taps of good quality beer together, it was a struggle. It really was. Now we fast forward 5 years, it's the opposite. We've got 30 taps, and it's difficult to leave people off. So it's kind of a litmus for how the industry has gone. I think it has in the last 5 years gone from strength to strength. And yes, we do have challenges, but I think it's a great time to be involved with beer. And it's a great time to see it all from the front line. That is the Yellow House of Beer in Long Street.
Is there any weird thing or something that has changed over the last 5 years that you wouldn't have expected, or a trend? For example, sour beers.
Yes.
Has something stuck? Has something not stuck? Has something taken you by surprise?
Taking me by surprise, I think sour beer hasn't happened yet. We've had a few of them on tap and bottle, and there's guys like you that will come in and get really excited about it and drink it and tourists.
Basically, he's talking about the general movement of people.
Yes, sour and wild beers hasn't really caught on. I don't think that surprises me, but it will surprise me in a couple of years' time if it doesn't go big, because of the flavor profile is not too dissimilar to your wine flavor profile. So it could be a gateway beer for a crossover.
My wife raves about sour beer. I mean, that's when we were in Russia. That's all she drank.
Yeah.
Sour beers, sour this, sour that. It's exactly what you said. It is that gateway beer for wine drinkers, not just women drinkers.
Wine drinkers.
Wine drinkers.
Yeah.
But a real trend that, because that's a trend that hasn't happened and hasn't surprised me, but I think what has been great to see is when we first started, it was overwhelmingly people were just interested in drinking macro-brewed lagers, because that's what everybody grew up with. But people came to Beer House for a different experience, so they're a bit more receptive to exploration, and seeing people have that penny dropping moment of, oh wow, this is actually a lot of fun. I mean, this has a lot of different flavors in it. And then looking at the wall or the 30 taps and going, my journey is just starting.
Yes.
And that moment is why we're in the business. And the best customers are the customers that walk in and say, oh, we don't like beer, we're just here to have some party with friends, or we're here for an event. Those customers are our favorite customers, because that challenge to get them to leave with a different mindset is the best challenge and is most rewarding. And that happens often, because people assume beer, or they don't like beer because of its bitterness, but not all beers are bitter. There's various different varieties of beer that don't have that bitterness.
I'm going off on a tangent, but surprise, surprise, that's what happens on the show. There's a book, I can't remember the author, but it's called How to Be a Beer Geek. It's one of many books that I have waiting in my wish list. wish list.
That's not one of the ones sitting next to the.
No.
No.
I need to have it delivered, but I managed to read it. I think from my buddy Roscoe. But they talk about the difference between a beer snob and a beer geek, and where a beer snob will almost belittle or laugh at someone who's just starting the journey, compared to a beer geek who will actually get excited to and lower his vocabulary or jargon, his terms used to help that
To be inclusive.
that newbie
Yeah.
join in on the movement.
Yeah.
And so I just think that must be nice. I mean, beer houses, obviously, if your staff are all on board, they're obviously all a bunch of beer geeks who just want other people to join in on the movements.
Yeah, I think very similar but different angle is they're trained to be known as navigators. That's they don't refer to them as
I
waiters.
like that term.
So they're navigating people on their journey through Beerland, and they're introducing these people that are tourists in maybe a country they don't recognize or know very well, and they kind of walk through using the map, which is our menu. So yes, it's very much. We have to be inclusive, because if we're going to be snobby about it, then we're only going to lose. And beer is not that way. Beer is all about
Opening your arms and
Yeah,
welcoming.
inclusive.
different.
One thing that I did find quite interesting, I think you told me maybe even 2 years ago when you opened your Joburg branch, or it had been open for about a year, your biggest seller is not in fact beer.
No.
What is that?
No, I mean, we could quite easily change the name of Beer House Four Ways to Tequila House Four Ways. It's an
Tequila and Jaeger?
Astronomical. No. I mean,
Just tequila.
Tequila sticks out when you look at the figures. It's astronomical. It's like
Wow.
they have a different culture up there to tequila. I mean, yes, people in Cape Town will go to bars and drink shots of it, but I've never seen it before. Even in my time in the UK, where a group of friends, say 3 or 4 of them, will order a bottle of tequila for the table and sit there and have a conversation, which is generally civil, and have shots of tequila while they're doing it, kind of like sharing a bottle of wine. So yeah, it's astronomical amount of tequila.
That is very interesting. I mean, I know that it was my wife's poison when she was joining before she met me. This is what she tells me. So she used to just have shots of tequila and then just drink water on the side. But that would help her keep going. You wouldn't get a headache. You'd get a great buzz on.
That's quite hard. That's
Just
quite
be
hard.
to stay hydrated.
Yeah, that's quite hard to sustain. You have to have quite a lot of self-discipline, because one thing, tequila leads to 2, leads to 3, and what happens.
I think it was.
And
my
once you've
wife.
done 3,
Yeah, but I mean, yes, tequila is a massive seller at Four Ways, and in Long Street. I mean, at the end of the day, we are a party bar after a certain time.
Cape Town's got a bit more class, surely. What is Cape Town's biggest seller? It's not a tequila, it's beer.
Yeah,
hazard a guess it'd
it
be-
is a beer, but not far off. And at the end of the day, both shops sell a lot of beer. It's just that obviously the party scene in Joburg kicks off.
At least people start with a beer and then work their way towards
Yes.
tequila. Okay,
Yes,
they don't.
And sometimes
going
there's
cold on
tequila
the
beer, but let's not talk about that.
Do we still have that Minerva? Is it Minerva?
Minerva,
ITA.
that's not available anymore. But there is.
I
This,
enjoyed that
there
at
is
one
this
point.
tequila-
Sorry, what?
tequila
Is that a
flav-
tequila? No, Minerva, what?
Yes, tequila.
It was a 750ml bottle.
Tequila Pale Ale.
It was Savage, brought over
okay.
from
Yes, yes, yes.
Mexico. Only Mexican imports. Actually, at one point,
Yeah,
I actually
that's-
really enjoyed it.
It's not available now.
But yeah, no, don't give me that tequila flavored beer.
Yeah, that's Radler with tequila flavors in it.
We're still on the subject of Beer House. We haven't dropped that because we want to know what's happening next week. I need to just remind myself what's happening, because heaven knows I do forget a lot of things.
I've got an itinerary here for you if you want to hear it.
We have to go for it. Before we go on over that itinerary,
Yeah.
gentlemen, a new beer.
What's that you have there, Troy?
This
It's
is
a very pretty can.
the latest collaboration in South Africa. It's all about the collabs this year, guys.
It's very.
That's what we
Absolutely.
we said that at the beginning of this year on the show. This is the year of the collab, and this is the collab between Devil's Peak and Little Wolf, both in the Signal Hill Products branch grouping basket, so to speak. This is their hoppy lager. Have you guys had this?
Yes.
Yes. Had it for
Yes.
the first time last Friday evening, actually at was it Candemonium?
It was Thursday.
Greg Casey? Thursday, sorry. No, it was excellent. And just a shout out to Greg at Afro Caribbean, because that Candemonium was really, really well put off.
Okay, you guys going
I
to share that?
I had to leave at 9 o'clock, so I don't know what happened after that.
You know, you've got responsibilities that you had to go and deal with.
You've moved that side of the mountain now. You've switching. Are you switching yellow bars? Are you still loyal?
No. I'm loyal to one yellow bar, but it's nice to live within a 5 minutes walk of another yellow bar. So I work at one and spend most of my time at one, and then my off days I get to frequent another one. So it's kind of the way things are. It's good.
Lovely. So we've obviously had this beer before, and it's hard not to get a bad beer. Wait, it's hard to get a bad beer from Devil's Peak.
Yeah,
or anything that
I
they
think
touch,
when you throw in
any collabs, and when you throw in
Steph involved,
the genius of young Wolfman Steph.
Wolfman.
Yeah, so let's just have a judging session on the show.
I could actually just sit and smell this without even having to drink it.
It's incredibly hoppy. It's got a lot of dank American notes, and then when you sip it, it's spot on. It's almost. I don't know if you guys were there when we spoke about it. It's almost not a lager. It's almost edging on the Pilsner side with the bitterness.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like when you smell it, you're expecting sort of a more traditional lager, but obviously it's got that. It's a hoppy forward lager, and that's when you kind of get
but
that.
But still being incredibly crisp and clean. I can't believe how clean it is.
I think it's a great way to deliver hops. I think, traditionally pale ales, and more so in the States, the most drunk style is IPA, is all about delivery of hops. Whereas, this might be the way forward because South Africans are used to a nice, crisp, clean finish. But also, it's a great aroma to have, and it doesn't necessarily come through in the flavors. It definitely finishes dry. So this could be a way to get South Africans that are not impartial to the fruitiness of pale ales.
I agree, and I like where you're going with that. I think... the label is magnificent. It's beautiful. I love it.
Have you tried to count how many wolves are on that label?
I did. I think there was 7.
7? Shit, I only got 4.
They were hiding. If I would have experimented a bit more, like just going on from what you just said, Murray from Beer House, making that lager, a little bit more emphasis on that lager word, because that would be very interesting to see what the public would
I think
lap up.
Maybe taking that out as like a blind tasting and just giving that to people and saying this is a lager and seeing their reaction.
Yeah, we made this according to a lager. Added a bit more hops in a certain process in the brewing process. What do you guys think?
This is my favorite lager I've had in years, I have to say. I think it's just different, interesting, crisp.
Everyone's going down the route in the States. One of the trends which we'll eventually get here is it's controversial, but they call it a session IPA, and other people say, "Why don't you just call that a pale ale?" I'm not really able to argue for or against that.
Yes.
But maybe that's the way forward in South Africa is to do hoppy lagers.
Yeah, dark lagers, hoppy lagers, amber lagers.
Something you can drink a lot of, but good packed with flavor.
But I think more importantly, to bridge that gap between the people who say, no, I only drink a lager. I will only drink a lager. And then you kind of adding a little bit more variety into their drinking allowance. The minute you start saying porter, ale, IPA, they get a bit scared. They kind of run away.
Just talking... I don't know if you guys have talked about this.
We're talking beer. We're talking beer. Just so you know.
Have you seen the general drop in the prices of the Signal Hill beers across the ranges?
Yes.
And I was quite interested to see. I picked up one of these earlier, hoping to use it for the show. Unfortunately, it wasn't cold. But I think the price point on these is also very good. I think it's sort of $22.95 or something.
If you're talking about in a bottle store, yes.
Yeah.
It should be around 25 rand.
Yeah. So it's
I think
pretty good that they've.
If you go into a bottle store in South Africa, anything under 25 rand. Regardless of size, that's pretty. That's a good.
Yeah.
I was in a
good price point.
Tops the other day, and I picked up a 6-pack of Devil's Peak Pale Ale for 84 rand. I was very chuffed.
Actually, it brings me on something.
I would also be pretty chuffed.
I saw something, when you say that, I saw something I never thought I would see the other day.
What?
I was walking out of it was actually the
T-bone in a shower.
Pick and Pay Bottle store. That was even more surprising than that. I saw two students. They were very obviously students walking out, and one of them had a 6-pack of Blockhouse,
Ooh.
Devil's Peak, and the other one had, I think it was the Pale Ale.
Nice.
Students.
Did you hoot and honk and
It
scream?
was different from
I,
my
I,
day.
st- I just stood there. Couldn't
Mouth-
believe what I
mouth
was seeing.
agape.
But I mean,
You
the
should,
price
you
point that they
should,
could
you should
afford.
next time pull over and ask them to come on the show. That would be great.
Well,
They would arrive drunk and they wouldn't make it.
we
famous.
content.
only allow people who know what they're talking about onto the show.
Oh, they clearly do. They've bought some excellent craft beer.
Yes.
Getting students drunk on craft beer.
I don't know why security let you guys through. Listen, one thing I did want to.
I finished my beer already.
I finished mine. That was very quick.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice, which also our next beer has a similarity to, but we won't get into it now. Let's stick with this Little Wolf. Devil's Peak and Devil's Peak Group. You know, one thing they do very well, which I like, is they're looking after the customers, looking after their fans, the beer fans.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to put myself in that bracket. I am a beer fan of the Devil's Peak family. They present whenever they deliver beer, and you know, they hand out to certain influencers or social media people. I know some people don't like that word, influencers, but you know, they do a very good job. You know, they present a beautiful package. They handwrite their notes. They sprinkle some confetti. It almost reminds me of Rowan Atkinson in Love Actually, when he gets the cinnamon stick and he puts the petals in the box. I mean, did you guys?
Was Rowan Atkinson in Love Actually?
Yes, he was the store clerk.
You're right. You're right. Sorry.
Who
You're
says
absolutely
just
right.
a minute. Anyway, but I love that. But also something I did notice, which I also like. Well, you guys are going to have to help me here. They didn't put one beer in the box. They put two.
And that's an important thing. Hey?
And this is important.
It is important.
Because the one beer you're going to showcase
Yep.
on your social media platform, be it Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. The other one is for you.
Yep.
The other one is to say, hey, you know what? That's for you. Just enjoy that.
Yeah. I mean, we do.
I like that.
The Friday beer that we do on barley and hops, and the whole purpose behind that is for like that 1 week. This is the one beer to go out and try.
Yes.
Don't be overwhelmed by all the other choices. We've kind of, I'm not going to say we've done the hard yards, because let's be honest, it's, you know, we enjoy doing it anyway. But when we ask some of the breweries, like we want to showcase one of the beers, they say absolutely, how many do you want? And we just say 2 beers. Give us 2, and then we can make sure we do something really cool for it.
Yeah.
And then we might have, you know, we were hoping to have 1 beer for today's show. Unfortunately, didn't make it from last week, but I'm sure we'll get into that later. But breweries, if you're paying attention, 2 beers is the magic number.
Did you guys get given flowers?
Flowers from who?
From
From Little Wolf.
No.
No.
And Devil's Peak. You see, I didn't get any flowers.
Who got flowers?
I saw a lot of people getting flowers, like these
Flowers?
influencer types. And
Flowers?
that's-
More like Fane Boss, you know what I mean? Like some foliage.
Yeah, but that's the problem. They're the influencer types. You don't.
Okay.
Are we influencers?
I don't know, I would like to think so. I'd like flowers.
We'll get hold of Net Florist. Net Florist, if you're listening,
Yeah,
please
so cool,
send
but
flowers.
flowers is a good ad. Value add.
Let's move to a. Oh, you are drinking that water. Let's move to a music break. I'm just trying to find a appropriate song. I'm actually looking for a song that's going to be long
I've been
enough.
liking what you've been playing recently with sort of the gummy bears. No,
Oh, you like
None of
that?
that? Yeah, I've been enjoying that.
Okay, well, we
Brings
won't.
a nice vibe to the
I
show.
was actually preferring Dr. Dre's, but I mean, maybe
Dr.
maybe-
Dre was
yeah.
good.
It's very hard.
That
Which
was-
Murray? Are you gonna-
Nothing,
this has
but a
been
G thing.
Nothing but a G thing. Okay,
when
but
Greg was on, was a very good intro.
No,
T-Bone,
let's-
this is when the pressure lines up. Now, which Murray are you going to?
no,
Gummy Bears or Dr. Dre? Gangster rap or Kid? Yeah.
I'm going to play an 80s classic, and
Cop
I
Out.
think everyone listening.
He's just going to ignore both of us.
I'm hoping everyone listening sang this song at least once in front of the mirror. Cool, guys. We'll see you after the break. Ciao, ciao. Hooray!
courageous and caring, faithful and friendly.
Are you all singing at home?
Yeah.
They sing out in
Well, I think a lot of people are singing to this rather than the previous song.
Where's it coming from?
Gummy bears, dancing here and there and everywhere.
high adventure that's beyond compare.
They are the gummy bears.
This was, I think, it wasn't in. Was it only shown in South Africa? No, it must have been international.
Oh, dude.
I would like to say
Because-
we did get that show in Zimbabwe.
Did you? You are a Zimbo.
Well, I think it was kind of roped in through someone else's KTV account onto a VHS. And, but yeah, gummy bears.
Well, there you go. I thought, let me give you some gummy bears for Mr. Murray. Barley and hops, Murray. Guys, welcome back. It is hashtag beer time. We are drinking beer in the studio with Murray 1, Murray 2, or otherwise known as Murray from Barley and Hops, or Ketchum Festival Beer, and then Murray Slater from Beer House and the Mash Tun.
Yes.
And the mash tun, yeah.
South Africa's newest
Second.
South Africa's newest podcaster, ripping up the decks. Wiki. Murray number 3, please open that
See,
bottle.
this happens every time. I get from the start, I was number 2, and now I'm already number 3. Okay, so...
Well, Murray Stevenson's 4, so it's
that's true. You can't get much lower than that. We've got...
Pour that baby, bad boy. Pour that.
happy.
So I've got here a Mikkeller Belgian-style Pilsner. I think that's right. And I've actually got to apologize because I know he's listening. There's a friend of mine. We were at the tap room. I'd been trying to rope him into drinking some different beers.
Yes.
And there was obviously the Devil's Peak at the tap room in Salt River. They've got the slot machine. And
An actual slot machine.
they've got an actual slot machine that you put in R5. And if you're lucky enough, it'll actually spit out one of the really good beers.
Nice.
And this was one that he got and said, well, you hang on to it and I'll have it when I come round to your place. And well, I panicked earlier and didn't have anything interesting to bring, so I bought that. So, Ronan, I know you're listening. I'm sorry, but we're appreciating it here on...
Look, we'll look after Ronan.
we'll
I think
look after it.
if Ronan's going to be friends with anyone, it's us. So
Oh, hang on, let's maybe just taste the beer first, and then we can... Let's not overpromise here.
So this is from Mikkeller. Where's it made?
Mikkeller. This is imported.
Because we don't know where Mikkeller's made.
Yeah, he's a gypsy brewer, so it could be made anywhere.
It's got an
Yeah,
American
it's
flag
true.
on it, so I'm going to assume it's somewhere in the States.
McKellar or Die, and on the back is a whole bunch of Danish, so it's difficult to tell. It does say, yes, there we go, I can read it. It says something, it definitely looks like Belgian or Flemish. So this is made in Belgium somewhere. Brewed by De Proef Boerderij. There we go.
The proof.
I don't know if I pronounced that right.
We're willing to have people correct us on that.
I'm trying to adjust
I
this.
think my Danish isn't too hot, but it's not crap.
Yours is fine. There we go. Okay. Let's have a look. So it's a Pilsner.
It's a Pilsner, but
Yeah,
it's
not
got
cloudy.
It's not what you would... It's definitely not your sort of traditional...
It's another
style.
hoppy style lager.
Mm,
so it
it
kind of
almost-
follows on
Yeah,
nicely.
so actually it was a good choice to bring today.
Yeah.
Goes along nicely with the Hoppy Wolf.
Got a bit of cheese.
Yeah, it might be a little bit old.
That was the one where I did have, because I don't know.
It's still delicious. It's still.
I still got it, but yeah, you're right, it is old.
I'm just going to ask you to move
I
your
couldn't find a...
earphones around there. God damn it, these. Ooh, careful. There we go.
And then?
Easy does it. Right.
And we're
So
back.
We're back. Yes, always a technical glitch on the show. Mr. Murray and Ronan, thank you for bringing this delicious beer. Yeah, a little bit old. I'm getting that crackle back again. Damn it.
That's because I washed my microphone here.
I'm just trying
It gave me a fright when you reached over. I'm generally nervous about you reaching over.
It'll be the first time. Okay, well let's. Murray, I think you were bursting at the seams
Yes.
to finish your little segment.
As much as I love talking, a bit of banter with you chaps. I do.
Love a bit of banter, but let's stick to what we had planned.
Yes, thank you. What did we have planned?
You were going to
Apparently.
tell us the itinerary for Beer House. What can
Yeah.
people expect next week? Is it 5 days a week? Is it 4? How many events do you guys have planned?
Every day there's something going on.
Oh my, don't say that to me.
But Some of them, 4 of them are definitely beer focused. The other ones.
Okay.
So let's talk about those. So on Tuesday, which is this Tuesday coming up, so in a week's time.
In a week's time.
We kind
So
of,
if you listen to a podcast, it's actually tomorrow.
yeah. Well, there we go. On
Yeah.
the Monday, which so it'd be too late, we have our normal karaoke evenings, which are a big hit. But we're talking beer. So
Maybe I'll be there.
Tuesday night is the State of Beer industry review discussion, which we hosted in 4Ways for 4Ways' 4th birthday, which was a couple of weeks ago. We're doing a Cape Town version of that. And what that is we've organized a panel of people we believe to be
Experts.
experts, but also, I mean, I'll tell you the panel. We've got Lucy Korn, who's, the brew mistress.
Yeah, she's known to know something
She
about
knows
that.
a thing or two about
She
beer.
knows stuff about the industry, definitely. She's written books on it. She's been around. She's observed it from a fourth estate journalist point of view, which is great. Then we've got a relative newcomer to our industry, Nick Smith from Soul Barrel.
Yes.
Who's
American.
obviously-
Nice to see you, Nick.
He's obviously got great experience in the States. And he's obviously opened up his new brewery here, so it'd be good to get his perspective.
Yes.
Then we have the Wolfgang from CBC. Who doesn't really need much more introduction. Being from also the start of this whole revolution 4 or 5 years ago.
And the chairman of Craft Beer.
Is it because he's
Association
German that
South
he needs no introduction?
No, that's not good. If you don't know who Wolfgang is, then you've been under a stone for the last 5 years. But making great clean beer for CBC. But yes, and also Troy also mentioned that he is the president, right?
Chairman of Craft Beer Association.
Yeah, so he
South
knows a thing or
Africa.
two about what's going on there. And then we have another guest, was actually Stephen Miller, who presently owns Garage Easter, which is up for sale.
Yes.
But has also worked for SAB as head of
Yes.
innovation.
Yes.
So he's seen both sides of the coin, micro and macro. So it would be great to have his perspective. So the idea behind it is open dialogue. It's just about getting people to talk in a room, in a public environment, about challenges that our industry faces, and
And how we can overcome them.
exactly. It's all. The tone is positive and constructive, and it's not about bitching and moaning, because we are one industry. But the one discussion and how this whole idea started, actually, Troy, was because you sent me an article once via WhatsApp, a nice URL linked to Peter Cause's letter that he was writing to the Brewers Association.
Yes.
Peter Cause is obviously a family member, owner, chairman, whatever he is, of the Cause, which is a massive microbrewery.
Yeah.
And he was just getting upset about microbreweries,
Slating.
giving macro, a lot of hate, throwing shade, as the millennials call it.
Are you a
I
millennial?
can't believe I just threw that on. And my colleagues are going to be laughing because that's quite funny.
Can you see the numbers dropping off the listenership right now?
No, it's flashing red. It's telling me to avoid that word.
You guys are being a bit extra at the moment.
Are we on fleek?
Yeah, no,
No,
not yet.
opposite.
I'm getting on fleek, but you guys are throwing shade and being extra. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
I'm just gonna have a sip of my beer and clear that millennial out of my
Yes,
mouth.
you have lost me. I need to Google some of the stuff.
I'm trying to remain relevant at 36 years old.
do millennials Google? Please continue.
Okay, so industry discussion.
And there's something else.
And there is a fun beer quiz afterwards, which I put together. It's called "Are You Smarter Than a Beer Whisperer?" And
Reference to
myself,
AKA.
being the beer whisperer. But it's not just general knowledge. It's fun. It's guess the beer. It's guess the beer label. Guess the bottle cap. Bit of general knowledge, but fun general knowledge.
Love it.
It's designed for both beer geek and beer novice. So, like all good quizzes, there should be some really hard questions that only geniuses will get. And there should be some really easy questions that entry-level people that are just getting into beer can get. So there's something for everyone in that quiz.
Do you remember the quiz that I did at Beer House? I think maybe
I do.
3 years ago.
I do, yes.
That was fun.
I do. Yes, that was almost just after we opened, actually, longer than 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
I saw the poster for it the other day. I think Haley, my wife, showed it to me. I was like, oh, wow, remember that. Why haven't we done more? So the intention is to do more beer quizzes.
Let's do more. I think it is. I did it in July. It is always around July that we do these kind of things. Okay, so that's the beer quiz on Tuesday. What's going to happen on Wednesday? Discussion and quiz on Tuesday.
Yes.
Wednesday.
And by the way, both those events are free, so it's just about turning up. And in fact, the whole
Will you be serving beer?
absolutely.
The beer will not be free.
From 30 taps and 99 bottles.
I can deal with that.
Yeah.
Wednesday, what's happening Wednesday?
Wednesday is our normal bottomless ribs, but this time we're going to throw in bottomless bone crusher from Darling.
I did laugh when I was obviously busy putting together a blog post for Barley and Hops to
Yes.
help you guys market this next week.
Yes,
And on the website, you've got the Tuesday evening, the Thursday evening, the Friday evening.
Yeah.
No mention of the bottomless.
Oh, it's definitely in there.
Oh, sorry. There's no. You know what there is? There's no Facebook event specifically for the bottomless.
No, that's a reoccurring event because that happens every week. But this time we're going to throw
Been
in
there,
an
done that.
extra bottomless bone crusher.
Let's speed it up. What's happening next?
Thursday is, as we all know, is IPA day.
Just a casual IPA
Just a
day.
casual IPA day. So what we did last year, which worked really well, and we're going to do it again, is we have a Meet the Brewers event, but not the
Love
normal
it.
beer house Meet the Brewers event with the food pairing.
Yep.
This is just about the beer and the story of the beer and the brewers. So we've got
Cool.
5 brewers from around Cape Town, all very cool bunch of people, great characters, and then 5 IPAs. Some of them haven't been released, some of them will just be released.
Nice.
We've got Drifter with a New England IPA. We've got Ukamba, who's also bringing a New England IPA, but it's going to be made with millet, which is not something that's ever been done before.
No,
So
I'm
excited
looking
about
forward to that.
We've got obviously JC from Devil's Peak bringing in the Copenhagen,
Yes,
which
yes.
is another juicy New England. I'm going to miss someone now. Oh, then we've got Hal Nianaba from Drifter, or he works for Drifter, but his brand is 400 Brewing.
Brilliant.
That's the Harambe
Yes,
Resurrection,
yes,
which
yes,
is a
yes.
big, bold beast of a black IPA.
I remember that.
And then I'm missing someone. Oh, there we go. Daniel Shields from Shields Brewing. He's got his IP. The
Sure,
Funky
you got
Sheen
through
IPA.
that.
Gentlemen,
Oh, I remembered all that. Yeah. So
now,
that's a lot of fun.
that's on Thursday.
That's on Thursday. Yes.
That's Meet the Brewers. And now I'm
Yes.
just going to add this in. I remember last year, I organized a very casual IPA roundabout kind of bus tour.
Yes.
It was, I
I
think it was,
remember
there
that
was
actually.
5 of us maybe. It was very small, but we literally went to all the events. Not all of them, but we went from, I think, from Jack Black to Banana Jam.
I remember running
to
into you. You went to
Woodstock,
Woodstock,
to
Drifter,
Brewers
I think,
Carp,
Brewers Carp.
and then we finished at Beer House where we were pretty smoked, but it was a great evening. I think poor Murray Slater was trying to make some announcements, and I was just slagging him off. And
Yeah, no, it
shouting.
it was great because everyone was so jolly, but it was very difficult to be serious. But like, I think after the first introduction I did, I decided that I'm not going to go that way. This is going to be a bunch of fun. And then
Yeah.
it kind of turned into chaos, but like a fun type of chaos. It's one of the things you just got to let go. And that's
I was
beer for you.
stealing beer and glass, and I wasn't.
No, he wasn't doing that. He would be thrown out.
Yeah.
That's not fun.
There are cameras everywhere.
Yes,
Okay,
so-
let's finish that up. What else is happening?
So on that same night, it's first Thursday, so it's going to be big. And
Oh.
we have live music going on, so plenty to look forward to Thursday. Friday, International Beer Day.
Just straight afterwards, yeah?
Yeah, and also officially Beer House's 5th birthday. We actually opened officially our doors for the first time at International Beer Day. We are having Majosi live. If you don't know who Majosi is, an amazing South African artist. He'll be playing live. We also have our usual recurring monthly event, cask tapping ceremony,
Yes.
where Murray on
Stephen,
my right
Stephen
here,
going to be back.
Stephen will be back, Shackleton's, and he's actually doing a collab with Atlantic Storm.
Yeah,
And
cool.
we'll be putting on an oatmeal stout on cask. We'll be tapping that. And
Cheapers.
our guest speaker for that cask tapping ceremony, as you guys know, because Murray, you've been the guest speaker, will be Lucy Korn, the brewmistress. So
What does the guest speakers talk about?
subjects are always open, but her particular one is she's talking about myths in beer. Myths
Murray,
in
what did you
sommelier.
talk about?
I basically talked about not being a stubborn bastard in beer. It was all about being someone who actually doesn't sit back and says, I don't really drink craft beer. If you don't really like craft beer, then because you've only ever had lagers, then don't say that. Then go and try a CBC lager or a Jack Black lager and when you find the lagers that you like, maybe try one of the other beers.
Don't be a prude, basically.
Yeah, don't be a stubborn asshole. Broaden your horizons.
Yes.
Try something different.
So, Cask Ale, Majosi, our official birthday. So what we're also doing is kind of doing a mini launch of our house beer, which we've started called a Lit Lager.
I've seen that.
So playing to some more millennial speak. But apparently lit isn't what we think it is. It doesn't mean you're getting drunk. It means you get to that sweet spot where you're kind of in a good, happy mood and you've had enough beer.
You've
Not
lost
too
me,
much.
mate.
Is that
You've
how
lost
the
me.
Oxford Dictionary describes it, or is that what millennials have told you?
You've
No,
lost
but
me.
it goes further. It comes from the jazz era when jazz musicians really hit a sweet spot when they were really into their music and nailing it. They were lit. So basically, their faces would light up and you could see the excitement in their faces. So that's the understanding behind our brand Lit Lager, which is actually a recipe which is award-winning, that's been discontinued, that we're taking on under our own brand. We are doing bottomless Lit Lager that night. So that you will have to pay for, but everything else will be free.
That's awesome.
Let's and just to wrap up, you've got the just the casual the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival on the Saturday, and then Randolph also parts the founder along with you, owner of Beer House's birthday party on the Saturday.
His official title is the Head Dreamer.
Head Dreamer. You're the beer whisperer.
Please refer to him as such.
Guys, let's crack open with our last two beers. I can't believe we've been chatting about good stuff.
About beer.
About beer.
Yes, but two things that you forgot to mention.
Oh shit.
It's Saturday is Randolph's birthday, which you did mention.
Yes.
That's the yellow party. So if you get invited, you come dressed in yellow. You basically get a free drink and basically get to hang out and have a party. We're kind of making it into the unofficial after party for the Woodstock.
I think it's going to turn into that.
Yes.
So come along.
Sure.
And celebrate.
Guys,
it's
going to be a lot of yellow people.
You cannot have any events planned for that week.
Mm-mm.
It has to be beer events. Don't organize a dinner with your family.
That's next week, by the way.
Guys,
you should absolutely organize a dinner with your family. Just make sure it's a beer house.
Bottomless cribs. Right. Nice one. Well played. Let's move on to a beer which was also received last week in the mail, in the postage. It is from Saggy Stone. It is their brewer's small batch stout, and it's got your hashtag 001. It's an Irish extra stout with coconut flakes. This was delivered. 2 beers were delivered in the post. Well done.
Yes.
And they said, we want you to pair it with a savory or sweet snack. And they've included the sweet or savory or sweet snack. So we're going to see live on radio which one is best. Ooh, a bit aggressive on the pour there. You guys help yourself. I haven't heard much from Saggy Stone. I must admit, maybe it's just because they.
I think they've been pretty quiet for the most part, and I think that's why they've kind of started to do this. I think this is a big marketing piece for them to try and get out and get a bit more relevance again.
They're definitely going down the can route.
Yeah, they've only ever done cans, as far as I know. I know they've taken over.
Yeah, I don't know.
They've moved.
They've got a space in town now
for almost a year.
Yeah. I know they're kind of, we always say like a lot of these breweries need somewhere that people can actually go in and try their beers, and they've obviously got their brewery out in Robertson, but they've taken over a place in Cape Town, the Villagers Rugby Club. They've now kind of rebranded it. It's the Saggy Stone.
A hostile takeover? Or?
No, I don't think it was hostile at all. There was beer involved. How hostile could it have been?
I didn't know. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I haven't.
Are they brewing there, or was it just?
They're not brewing there, but they've got all their beers up there, and this is available. I think this is going to be available there. But yeah, like I read up a bit about it, and their brewer Matt Bradley, they've only done 500 cans. I don't think it's going to be around for very long.
I can't believe I'm going to share this with you guys. Screw you.
I think this is a great beer.
Okay, so let's try the beer without eating. Sorry for the rustling in the background.
Too late. I had some of the biltong.
Okay, let's have a sniff. Very a lot of burnt ambers.
Oh, we're off to a good start.
Some black malt coming through.
Great.
Yeah, it's nice and sweet. I imagine that sweetness is a lot from the coconuts coming through.
It was my only thing with this beer, and I think Lucy has also said this. I didn't. No, it's ours now.
Just give us some bottom.
It's the one thing I didn't get with this. I didn't get that sort of coconut after.
So did we all receive the black box, the mysterious black box? I must just say quickly on air that I was very, very chuffed to receive it, because the first time I've received anything quite like that before.
You've made it.
I've made it. I think I'm now officially a lit influencer. I'm down with influencing.
You don't throw shade anymore.
No. that black box opened up and there was light all over the place. It was
handwritten letter.
Was it addressed to you?
It was addressed to me and not my wife. So I'm very excited. Very excited.
Does your wife get sent beer much?
Yes. She loves beer.
Oh, of course.
I love beer, but they don't send it to me.
She loves beer. Well, look, the biltong's delicious, and I think
Is there any left?
biltong pairs. That's my lunch. Biltong always pairs well with beer, and this beer is pairing beautifully. So so far Savory's in the lead in my mind.
When I first had this, and this is the second time I'm going for it, and it's just kind of confirming it. And I think the saltiness of the biltong brings out the bitterness on the end, which I feel rounds the beer off nicely and makes it more sessionable. Otherwise, it, to me, can be a little bit finishing sweet on this.
I'm giving you guys rations of the chocolate cookie that they gave us.
That's okay. You know, us Murray's, we're sweet enough.
Okay, let's have a little bite.
This is what you had last time.
This is the same as you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
We're eating a chocolate brownie of
Oh, it's
sorts.
not bad though.
What happens if you
Okay, let's have a sip of the beer.
What happens if you put the biltong and the brownie together? I'm gonna try that.
Try it.
You know what was also nice about that drop is it wasn't just a here's beer. It was a we actually want to know from you what do you think pairs better with this. I don't think anyone else has
It's
done that.
interactive.
It's interactive, and it's opening up another market of food pairing, which is great. So you're getting the people to talk about it, and when non-beer influencers or non-beer people, let's just generalize that, see that these people are drinking biltong with beer or chocolate biscuit with beer. Oh wow, there's obviously something happening here. Going on to this beer and the pairing, I like the chocolate biscuits, but that chocolate and sweetness is so intense that it almost strips away all of the good stuff in the stouts.
It becomes too dominant.
And then the stout almost becomes a plain ale. You can't pick up that sugar coat your tongue.
Goes a bit dry.
Which is very strange when they say, no, you need to pair pudding with stouts. I think that's...
Oh, that's strange.
When you go to beer pairings, the ones that I've been to in the past, they've put a stout towards the pudding because it
chocolate.
They
coffee.
say complements the sweetness. Where I think you should maybe put that stout with in this case,
Something savoury.
a salty,
I don't know.
meaty umami.
I think it can depend on just like which the start is. I mean, if you look at the food pairing that Carl and Greg from Beer Country did in Greyton at Fools and Fans. I mean, they did just that. I mean, it was a great food pairing, but they had their more coffee stout with, I think it was a Cook's Sister. Remember that? And it was excellent. It worked really, really well. It was.
You've got so many options with food and beer because all the flavor profiles, so you can complement, cut, and contrast. So, saying stout goes only well with desserts, I agree with you, Troy. I think you're going to miss out with a whole bunch of other things. What salt can do with stout as well.
And look, when you're at the pub and you've had about 6 Guinnesses, those salty chips are just fantastic.
Do your wives let you stay out that long?
Until when?
6 Guinnesses.
No.
Not to bring the mood in the room down.
I can't remember the last time I had 6 beers in a row.
T-Man, how are we doing on time there?
We're doing good for time. We've just finished Saggy Stone. I think the beer, going back to the beer, it's a well-made beer. And I say that with the utmost respect. Some of the beers that I've had in the past weren't that fantastic, but this one I would buy at a pub, in a bottle store, or buy a beer house, and I would drink it.
Yeah,
I would
completely.
consume it, and I would enjoy it.
This one stands out for me.
Well done to Saggy Stone. I should actually get them on the show sometime.
Yeah, you should get Matt Bradley on the show and find out what their plans are and stuff, because they are quite mysterious, I feel. Liam works with them, and he's actually partly behind, I think, this.
I will chat
this
to
press
Liam.
drop.
Liam and I have a good rapport with each other.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the last little segments of the show. And it's. I know we were going to say, we said the second half was going to be Cape Town Festival beer.
5 minutes.
We've got about 1 minute now.
We've got 1 minute.
We've got a few minutes. But I think it's appropriate because it's almost like a little teaser of what's to come. Murray, you've been involved with the Cape Town Festival beer is this your 5th year? Fourth?
This is at least my 5th year.
Wow. Is it?
Yeah, I think this is my 5th year with
when
the
I met
festival.
you didn't have all those grey hairs.
I didn't. I started spending a lot more time with Martin Tucker,
Yes.
and it starts to happen. So no, I'm kidding. Like I love Martin. He's one of my favorite people around. But yeah, this will be my 5th year with the festival. I'm now managing the marketing and sponsorships with Jason Slinger. But very exciting, we've actually got a date now. So it's the 30th of November to the 2nd of December. It was a little contentious because we couldn't figure out when Black Friday was and when the sevens were. And
When are the sevens? After that?
the sevens are the weekend after.
Okay, good.
And Black Friday
You have
is
to
2
have
weeks
it.
before.
Yeah, you have to have it the weekend after. But before.
Yeah.
Sevens.
So that's it. The ticket, the dates are confirmed. The tickets are up. We've got early bird this year, and the early bird are less than half the price of every day
Shut up.
for the most part. So early bird tickets are up for every day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 70 Rand. They're
Sure.
available on web tickets.
It's a bargain.
They are limited for now. Yeah, so if you want to go get your tickets, go get them now because they're going to be like this. They're not going to last for long, and then they're going to resort to the standard prices. Friday night's 120, Saturday's 150, and then Sunday will be 100 for the families. So get your tickets available, get your tickets now, and you're not going to have a care in the world when the festival comes around in November.
Because you sell out on a Saturday usually.
Yeah, Saturday generally.
You actually have to physically close the doors.
Yeah, on a Saturday night it becomes like a little hairy because the festival closes at 11, but the taps close at 10. And
But the party
at
goes
like
on.
9:30, 10 o'clock, guys are still trying to get in through the gates, and we can't. We're at capacity. There's a lot of rules and regulations around running a big event like that in Cape Town. And I think it's been one of the things that's worked so well for us is we've been like bang on with just making sure that we've always been in line with those regulations.
Yeah, you guys do a fantastic job with security and logistics,
Yeah.
running the show.
And so much so this year, we're actually turning the entire festival around.
Have you had a run-in with the security there? You seem to have high regard for them.
I've had a run-in with Murray and
So you
Martin Tucker.
met Hercules. Hercules, our head of security.
Nice. It's a good name for...
No, he's a good chap.
He is a lovely chap.
I've chatted to him, chatted politely to him a few times. Not in.
We actually took our head office team out for the end of year Christmas function last year on the Friday.
Oh, I remember that.
It was.
I think you won the
amazing.
party on the dance floor.
I
We've got
think-
videos of that.
I think I won the
my
party.
It's part of our
yes.
2018 promo video.
My calves the next day were so sore. I've never danced so much in my life. It was just one of those days and I was drinking tangerine tart, I think it was, from Devil's Peak, which is just
Ooh,
amazing.
nice little sour.
Are we going to have some karaoke there this year?
Yes.
You planning on it?
We're planning on it.
They haven't confirmed.
So Firestone Karaoke, who was with us last year, has approached us. We've said yes. We're just waiting for them to confirm that they are going to be there. But they did come and say they want to do it again.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm sure Lucy can't wait to swing Sweet Child of Mine or something a little bit different. this year.
Lucy likes a bit of a Bon Jovi.
Yeah, she loves a bit of Bon Jovi, but we're gonna. I think we need to shake it up a little bit this year. Sweet Child of Mine, Lucy. That's what we're expecting of you.
So apparently there's whispers out there amongst industry that there might be a radio show.
There might be. Let's crack open this next. Let's crack open. You know, it's for those people who paying attention. It is a few minutes past 1, but you know what? Fuck it. Let's have one more beer, and I'm going to make an exception to go over our time slot of 1 hour because this is a very special beer which is brought to us by Murray from Beer House. What is that?
Well, this is kind of like a little bit of a cake to give to you guys, because I know you guys have been big supporters of Beer House over the years. So this is our cake to you. It's not really a cake.
You didn't even bring a candle. I mean, I'm not
No,
disappointed.
You can't put a candle in a can. This is a can, so Greg will also love it. Candemonium. It's Brewdog's Black Eyed King Imp, which is a healthy 12.7% Vietnamese coffee edition.
Shut up.
Imperial.
Start.
Yes, about to say Pilsner. That's just ridiculous. It's Imperial Stout. So it's a bit. I've had it before. Let's drink it because I think let's just drink
Let's
it.
crack
Since
it
I'm
open.
talking about it.
Let's
You
crack
have,
it
the, you
open.
have the honors. Thank you for your support.
Thank you to Beer House. Thank you, Murray, for joining us on the show.
Oh, listen to that.
Good luck. I think it's off. I don't think you guys are going to like it.
I kind of had a feeling he was going to pull that off.
Oh, I love the way they pause on the mic.
No.
Good heaven. It is, guys, just to describe it,
You
that
say you
was
don't want any of this?
black
No, definitely.
tar. The head is dirty brown. It's not even white. It's like a chocolate mousse color, dark. Ooh. Okay. Well, this is a treat. This is a treat. Thank you very much for bringing this. But let's, while we're sniffing and tasting, because it is a bit of a taster beer.
Yeah, it's a great looking beer. Smells.
A chilled 12.7%. Are we taking
That's a
selfies?
clean
Let's
camera.
just do a quick selfie in the studio while we're live on air. I don't care.
Right? You got to clean the front camera.
I know, that's what it is.
Here we go,
That's the
guys.
back camera.
Oh, I don't know the difference.
Murray.
There we go. Let's get a
Wait.
photographer to do this.
3, 2, 1.
Sure, I'm feeling a little bit warm in here
Yeah,
now.
it is a little bit warm after this 1 or 2 little sips.
I might have to get my top off there. Get my full yellow garb going.
Oh, look, Randolph
So-
has stepped into the room.
So just to continue the conversation before it all falls apart, yes, there are whispers of a beer show happening at Cape Town Festival of Beer. We did, I think it was last year when I started my podcasting, when I started #BeerTime, we flirted with the idea of doing a beer show at the festival. So I think this year, now that I won't say I'm prepared or mature, but I am maybe ready for some sort of a beer show or marathon beer show at the festival. Do you think we can make it happen?
I think if you figure it out with the right people, the right things could happen.
I know people. I
Are
know
you
some.
not the right person?
I wish I was the right person that could just say yes to everything.
Yes, but you can sell it for #BeerTime.
You
And
can-
I'd like to think that maybe the mash tun would be part of that 12-hour.
Oh yes, I can't do it all on myself.
I mean, in fact, you'll probably need 6 people at least.
We'll see how far we can go. It might be quite a... Guys, we're talking about a marathon podcast session. Probably, what time do the gates open on a Saturday? 10.
Saturday, the gates open at 12.
And they close at 11.
The gates close at 10, and the festival is done at 11.
Okay, so let's just say 10 hours.
Yeah, let's just do don't 12. That extra hour is pushing it.
So we're talking about a 10-hour radio podcast
Drinking beer.
drinking beer, talking good stuff.
Yeah, might have
Downhill.
might have to have a drip just positioned next
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the booth, so we could sober up.
You stick them in I'm sure there's a wheelbarrow or something. We can just kind of wheel you around from stand to stand when we need to.
But I think that's a great idea, and I think #BeerTime, us would all pitch in. You know what I mean? I think it would be great. I think people would get a lot of value from that.
Entertainment.
Some kind of also a semi-live audience where you've obviously got people standing there and they can hear, but also you record it.
And we can bring people into the booth and
Yeah.
tell them what do they think of beer and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That would be great.
I think I need to sit down. I need to find some time and just come up with a proposal.
Yeah, I think if you
Put
come
it
up with the
onto,
right thing, and so sort of every hour, this is what we're going to do. I mean, one of the things that we've thought about doing is, we keep talking about introducing people to different beers. So we are considering sort of a discover beer type scenario for this festival, where potentially, and nothing has actually been confirmed, but it'll be, every other hour we'll have an IPA stand. So all the brewers that have got IPAs
yes.
will come to like a stand,
Yep.
and like the public can go and try like different IPAs from the different breweries, so that you are doing the different
The
things.
education is there.
Yeah, because I mean it's the thing we try to do every year. But I think what tends to happen is it runs a bit flat once they've kind of seen it online. They get to the festival and they then just kind of sometimes resort to what they know,
Yeah.
which is not what we want at all.
No, you want them to
Yeah, we
experiment
want
and
them.
explore.
Everyone needs to explore. They need to try something different. And it's actually strange because when you actually go to try something different, you find there's a whole new world of beer out there.
Well,
Whole
I'll tell you
new
what,
world.
a whole new world. Mr. Murray from Barley and Hops and Cape Town Festival Beer. I think we had you guys on the show the week before.
Yeah, you
last
did. You
year.
had Martin and I.
Let's do that again.
Okay.
You and Martin come on the show. We'll have you on before then, I hope.
Well,
I hope.
Jeez.
just wait for an
That'd be-
invite.
it'd be a
You've-
travesty if you didn't.
You've
I
behaved yourself.
my only kind of, I refuse to come on to the show unless there's at least one other Murray here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
safety in numbers.
Yeah.
The
You
first
don't want to be in here by
podcast, the
yourself.
first
Well, you
podcast
could-
we ever did was all three Murrays.
It was. Yeah.
4.
I'll never
No, we
forgive
got three.
myself.
We've never
We
done
haven't
four.
done 4.
No, I can't do 4.
Speaking of, just while we're on it, Where is Murray number 4 at the moment?
I think
what
he's
is
left
he
Woodstock.
doing?
He's not working at Woodstock Brewery anymore. That's what I heard. But what he's doing now, who knows? He was traveling for a bit.
I think he's
It's
traveling for a bit. And
It's
he
a
might,
mystery. There's rumours, but
he might get picked up somewhere.
There's
But,
always one Murray that's a mystery.
um,
Okay, well, if anyone knows what Murray Stevenson is up to, let us know. I'd love to know what his plans are.
let's get him on the show.
guys, flipping hell, man. It's almost 10 minutes past 1. I think we need to call it a day. I'm just trying to wrap up the show quickly. Mr. Murray from Beer House, thank you very much for joining us on the show. Thank you for... I'm so excited for next week. Also, I'm cursing you in the back of my mind because I know how damaged I'm going to be after that. I've got a 1-year-old birthday party on the Sunday morning. One of my good mates is having a 1-year-old birthday party.
Generally,
So do you know how I'm going to feel on that Sunday?
I've been to a few of those because I've got 5 nephews, and generally there's booze because there's the adults get together and have a few beers because
Should hope so.
this is their time, and there's shared responsibility with kids. So don't fear a first-year birthday too much. You actually can get involved. If you're a bit tipsy, it's better actually. Because kids are generally quite tipsy.
But I imagine you being a bit of... You're the fun Uncle Troy, the jungle gym.
The tree.
Not that Sunday. Don't bounce on the trampoline. There's going to be all sorts of unwanted things. But thank you very much. I'm looking forward to Beer House's 5th birthday week where they celebrate in conjunction with, can I say in conjunction with International IPA Day, International Beer Day, the Woodstock Winter Beer Festival,
And the head dreamer Randolph's
and the Head
birthday.
Dreamer birthday on Saturday. My goodness.
Sure.
And then there might even be karaoke on the Monday.
Good luck with that.
Mr. Murray? Mr. Murray number 1?
Oh, number
Oh,
1.
Mr. Murray number
Eleven.
1.
Hey, I brought this.
You get softened up after a 12.5% beer.
I need to get him in,
Is he?
keep him warm.
Is this what the next few months are going to look like?
Yes. Murray, listen, thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for bringing some beers. Thank you for Barley and Hops and everything you're doing. Keep making those cool little videos and giving away little Beer Friday little specials. Am I allowed to enter?
Of course you are.
Am I allowed to enter those competitions?
Of course you are. You just never have.
I think I don't want to win because I feel like
Oh, I never said you would win. I said you can enter that. It's a very, very... Yeah.
very, very, very big difference.
Good job. Thanks for having me. Guys listening, remember the Festival of Beer tickets, early bird tickets are online at the moment. 70 Rand early bird. Get them while they're available.
Yes.
Get in.
And yeah, follow us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Festival of Beer on all of those. And yeah, thanks T-Bone. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, cool guys. And for all our listeners, thank you very much. Local and around the world. I hope you guys tune in soon. Cool.
Can I just say that
Do you have anything else to say before I say goodbye?
Yes, Lucy has said she's all over Sweet Child of Mine. It was her standard when she lived in South Korea.
Cool. Guys, I
a sweet child of mine.
am going to leave with one message, something you guys do need to look out for, and that is a new campaign starting literally right now as we speak. It's called #LetUsBuyBeer. That's all I'm going to say. I want you guys to look out for it. It's going to be on your Facebook. It's going to be on your social media. #LetUsBuyBeer. We'll talk about it in next week's show. Cool, guys. Have a good week, and we'll see you soon. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening, guys and girls. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Just search for #BeerTime. That's #BeerTime written out in full. Hope you enjoyed the show, and check you next time. Cheers.